Swayal, Kwe'lo Telsqui, Talitsaqa Sawek. Good day, my name is Winona Victor. I'm also known as Kwe'lo, and I'm from the community of Lhilheqey, which is one of several belonging to the Sawek tribe. And I've been asked to share with you a little bit about what I've learned from one of our Shwokwiyam that we know as Lhilheqey, and some of the things that she taught me in relation to Indigenous governance and self-determination for the Stalo people. Lhilheqey was a Stalo woman who moved away from her people when she married Kwe'lo and went to live with him and his people in what is now known as Washington State. With this man, she had at least 2 sons and 3 daughters. Lhilheqey came to miss her people too much and was always worried about them, so she eventually decided to move back home. When she moved back to her family's territory, her 3 daughters, her 3 sisters, and her dog came with her. It is said that she cared for and looked after her people all her life, just like she wanted to, and why she had left Kwe'lo, but that eventually she became too old and could not do as she had always done. Lhilheqey came upon her crying one day, and when she explained why she was crying, that she loved her people so much and could not look after them as she had wanted to due to her old age, Lhilheqey transformed her into a mountain so she could always watch over the people, our river, and our salmon. Settlers renamed Lhilheqey Mount Chiam and her husband Mount Baker. Their sons are now known as Mount Rainier and Mount Hood, and Lhilheqey's 3 daughters are the 3 peaks that sit in front of her. The youngest daughter is Homithlia, the second oldest is Iowat, and the oldest is Sayawat. And behind Lhilheqey sits her 3 sisters, and they also have 3 high status Halkomelem names as well. And her Squame is with her, and from a certain angle, his head is very clearly sitting behind Lhilheqey. We are told that her youngest daughter, Homithlia, was crying, as from her place she could not see as well as her older sisters, and her tears now formed the waterfall at Anderson Creek. This is one of the Shwokwiyam that I used to teach me a few things about Indigenous governance and what that looked like prior to the Indian Act, prior to having the Indian Act, which was unilaterally imposed upon the Stalo people and has been for at least 7 generations for most families. Then in relation to governance, her story teaches me about the role that women play and the central role that women play in governance. So for example, where Lhilheqey chose to live was entirely her decision. And the Indian Act, of course, came along and without even being asked, women who married men from other communities were automatically registered to their husband's community without, like, they had no say in the matter. So what ends up happening there is a lot of our women are leaving our territory to go live in their husband's territory because that's where they're registered with, where Lhilheqey teaches us that it's choice. If you choose to go live with your husband in his territory, that's fine, but you can also choose to come back and live in your own territory as well, as we see with what Lhilheqey did. And then the role that she plays in relation to looking after the river and the salmon and the people, I think is another valuable lesson for us in terms of recentering the role that women play in making decisions for what's best for things like our river, our salmon, and our children. And then lastly is her, I believe you can scope out our territory if you climb to the top, and as far as the eye can see from all around would be Stalo territory, because as Lhilheqey's, that was part of it, so that she could always look after her people. So she needs to be able to see her people. So as far as the eye can see would scope out the territory of the Stalo people. So, mahai.